We live in an era where silence is often mistaken for weakness, and immediate reaction is wrongly celebrated as a sign of true personal strength. Do you feel exhausted from constantly responding to every criticism and expectation? You are not alone in this feeling of modern digital burnout and fatigue. The constant noise of notifications and digital arguments creates a persistent state of internal exhaustion, pulling us away from our own sense of peace and stability. We are pushed to have an opinion on everything, to respond to every jab, and to stay visible at all costs in this loud, demanding world. But Stoicism offers us a different path, a way to reclaim our energy through the power of being invisible and choosing our battles with deep wisdom. This is the art of keeping your soul unchanged while the world around you is in constant flux, a secret strength used by history's greatest thinkers. Pay close attention to our fourth lesson today, as it reveals the true key to power that will change how you communicate with the world forever. The power of invisibility is not about hiding away. It is about being so grounded in yourself that external forces cannot touch or manipulate you. Let us explore these 5 Stoic lessons to build your inner fortress and remain unshakable amidst the chaotic currents of modern life and social pressure. Lesson 1. Build your inner fortress. Happiness begins the moment you understand the clear distinction between what you can control and what you cannot. As Epictetus taught, we must focus our energy inward. The weather, the opinions of others, and past events are all entirely outside of our direct control. Instead of wasting your precious spirit trying to change external circumstances, turn your attention to your own thoughts, your reactions, and your core personal values. One person is a slave to the situation, letting the traffic dictate their mood, while the other chooses to remain free by controlling their internal state. By practicing this mental boundary, you become invisible to the attacks of frustration. The world cannot hurt someone who refuses to be internally disturbed by it. Your mind is your fortress. When you stop letting external noise inside, you gain a level of peace that most people will never be able to comprehend. Every time you choose not to be offended, you are adding another brick to your inner wall, making yourself stronger against the inevitable storms of life. Stay true to your internal compass. The chaos of the world is temporary, but the character you build through self-control is a permanent and valuable asset. The strength of a Stoic is quiet. It doesn't need to shout to be felt. It is the steady flame that continues to burn regardless of the dark. When you are no longer reactive, you are no longer a target. You move through the world with a grace that comes from absolute internal certainty. This is the first step to becoming invisible to drama, knowing exactly where you end and where the rest of the world begins in your mind. Lesson 2. The art of delaying your reaction. When someone insults or provokes you, your natural biological instinct is to strike back immediately. But the Stoic path teaches us to pause. Marcus Aurelius said that the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury to you. In that 1-second delay, you reclaim your power. You transition from being a reactive puppet to being a conscious master of your own emotional responses. Imagine yourself as a rock in a fast-moving stream. The water may hit you with great force, but it simply flows around and eventually disappears downstream. You don't need to win every argument. In fact, by refusing to engage, you have already won by maintaining your dignity and your precious inner peace. By delaying your response, you strip the aggressor of their power. They want a reaction. When you give them nothing, their anger has nowhere to go. Walking away or staying silent is not an act of cowardice. It is the ultimate expression of self-mastery and emotional independence from others' opinions. Time is your greatest ally in conflict. A response given after 10 seconds of thought is always superior to one given in a heat of passion. You have the right to remain silent in the face of stupidity. Not every comment deserves your attention, and not every critic deserves a reply. Let their words be like arrows hitting a shield of air. They pass through without leaving a mark, leaving you untouched and completely at peace. Master the pause, and you master your life. This delay is the space where your character is built and where your true freedom actually resides. Lesson 3. Minimalize your expectations. Much of our suffering comes from the gap between how we want the world to be and how it actually is. We expect people to be kind, work to be smooth, and the weather to be perfect. When these expectations fail, we feel wounded and deeply frustrated. The Stoic practice is amor fati, the love of one's fate. This means accepting reality exactly as it happens, without wishing it were any other way. When you stop expecting the world to revolve around your desires, you become invisible to disappointment. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. Lowering your expectations isn't about being pessimistic, it's about being prepared. It is about finding joy in what is, rather than grieving what isn't. The vanish quality here is having an ego so small that it doesn't get bruised by the minor bumps and setbacks of a typical day. You are a small part of a vast universe. Accepting this humility allows you to move through life with a lightness that others find truly mysterious. Every event is neutral until your mind labels it as bad. By minimizing expectations, you remove the power of external events to label your life. Rise above the need for things to go your way. The mountain does not ask the clouds to move. It simply exists in its own majesty. When you are content with the present moment, you are invincible. No one can take away your satisfaction because it doesn't depend on them. Embrace the reality of now. This is the only place where true life happens, free from the heavy chains of unrealistic and demanding future expectations. Lesson 4. The power of silence. This is the core of the invisible strength. In a world that can't stop talking, choosing silence is revolutionary. Be silent, or say only what is necessary. Dungbugyai. Observe how much energy we waste trying to impress others with our words. Those who speak the most are often those who are most insecure, desperately seeking validation from the crowd to feel some sense of worth. The Stoic understands that silence is a form of power. It gives you the space to observe, to analyze, and to truly understand the situation. When you speak less, your words gain the weight of stone. They become meaningful, purposeful, and much harder for others to ignore or dismiss. Think of the great sages of the past. They didn't win through shouting. They won through the gravity of their presence and their carefully chosen insights. Silence is a sanctuary for the mind. It is where your best ideas are born and where your soul finds the strength to face the day. By remaining silent in a conflict, you force others to confront their own words. You become a mirror reflecting their chaos back at them. You don't owe everyone an explanation. Your internal life is your own, and keeping it private is a way of honoring its sacred value. Silence is not the absence of thought. It is the peak of concentration. It is the signature of a person who is comfortable in their skin. While others are busy building houses of cards with their words, you are building a mountain with your silence. One is fragile, the other is eternal. Practice being the listener. You will be amazed at how much people reveal about themselves when you simply provide the space of your quiet attention. Your energy is finite. Stop leaking it through unnecessary chatter. Save it for the things that truly matter and the people who truly deserve it. Let your presence be felt through the quality of your being, not the volume of your voice. This is the true meaning of Stoic dignity. In the end, the person who can be silent is the person who can never be truly conquered by the noisy demands of the world. Lesson 5. Action in silence. Don't talk about your principles, live by them. Don't waste time proving yourself to people who don't matter. True excellence doesn't need a crowd. When you work in the shadows, your results will eventually become the loudest voice in the room. Social media has taught us to perform our lives for others. Stoicism teaches us to live our lives for ourselves and our own integrity. The pride of a Stoic comes from the quality of the work itself, not from the applause that might or might not follow the effort. Be a person of action, not a person of promises. Let your character be revealed by the way you treat people when no one is watching. The vanish quality is a powerful presence felt through deeds. You don't need a spotlight to be the most important person in the room. Self-validation is the only validation that counts. If you know you have done your best, the world's opinion becomes irrelevant noise. Build your legacy in silence. Like the stars that shine without making a sound, your impact will be felt long after the noise has faded. Success is a personal journey. Stop comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Your path is yours alone to walk. Plant your seeds in the dark. Trust the process of growth. You do not need the sun to watch you for the fruit to be sweet. Real power is the ability to do what is right without needing to be told you are a good person for doing it. Find your rhythm in the quiet. When you are no longer driven by ego, your actions become pure, effective, and truly transformative for the world. Living Voan is not about becoming cold or indifferent. It is about becoming more resilient by stripping away everything that is not essential. Speak less, feel more, and keep your inner fortress strong. These 5 lessons are your tools to navigate any storm with absolute calm. You have the power to choose your response. You have the power to remain still. You have the power to be the master of your soul. If you are ready to start this journey of Stoic strength, leave a comment below saying, "I choose stillness," to connect with others on this path. Thank you for joining us today. May your path be silent, your actions be strong, and your heart be forever at peace within itself. Until next time, remain unshakable, remain invisible to the chaos, and remain true to the fortress you have built within your own mind.